All right, folks. Good morning, everybody, and welcome in. It's House Edge Live with John from Casino Gaming Central. It's getting hard. I'm getting better at saying that now. I used to be John from ProCraps, but it's I'm getting used to the new channel name and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Not doing a Friday Follies today. I wanted to get these. I want to knock these four kind of truther fiction, fact or fiction ideas out this week. Just to kind of get a feel for them, like how long they take to do. And what I'm really looking at, and just so y'all know, kind of an inside look at how the channel works and what I'm trying to get done is, and I've said this before, YouTube does not like live episodes, right? They don't like things that are half an hour long or 45 minutes long. They kind of bury those videos. And that's why my channel grows so slow, because my videos are super long and they're not very well practiced. I'm not reading from a script in almost never. So you get the you get the rights, you get all the things that I say. But what I want to do is start taking, because I start the show over the same every day. A little hello, a little bit of bridge, a little bit of whatever. And then I do like the topic and then I get out of here. What I want to try and start doing is cutting those topics out, the 6-7 minutes that I'm actually on something, and make those separate little videos. So this whole fact or fiction week, I wanted to see, could I do it in 6 or 7 minutes, the one segment? Was it succinct enough? Was it interesting enough? And then can I pull them out? So that's why I wanted to do 4 in a row. And I'll do like a minute or two of those every day. Just a quick, how do you do? But I wanted to kind of get through it. Anyway, I'll always be pro-craft. Yeah, I'm still pro-crafts in my own mind. What I'm going to do is here, I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do, believe it or not, is when I do the videos for craps, I'm going to call them pro-craps, name a video, right? Pro-craps, this strategy. And I'll create like I'll use the same logo and the same, everything, but just the video name will have that moniker on it. And I'll use that kind of handle as I talk. I'll do another persona for roulette, blackjack, whatever. The channel will still be Casino Gaming Central. So I may still call myself ProCraps at some point. I may go back to it. The problem is with freaking YouTube is when I'm in like another channel's chat, it shows me as this logo. So I can't change back and forth super easily. Whatever, first world problems, right? Anyway, let's get into it. And I have to call my buddies out here on this. So let's go left side today. What do you think? Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. My everyday reminder, and I got some grief on this last night from Ed and Fran, and that's okay, over at Casino Tears. I have to remind you every day that we're here for this reason, right? The casinos are in it for a reason that they remind themselves of every day, which is take everybody's money. That's it. That's the business model. It's not provide a service other than some entertainment. It's not anything quote unquote good. It's just take their money. That's it. They're there for that. And if you get too good at it, you don't get to play anymore. So remember the fight that you're in. And I talk every day about the bridge. And Fran said last night on Casino Tears Live, he said, hey, John, I'm tired of hearing about the bridge. And Ed said, yeah, it'll make your ears bleed. I don't care. And I put this in chat to them last night too. It's like, look, you got to remember that although I say this every day and it's boring to you all, A, you got to hear it on repeat. B, most people who watch my videos, there are 14 people watching, which is terrible, right? Most days it's about 50. But the videos get about 500 views on average, right? Which means about 400 people are probably seeing this for the first time. So when I do this repetitive thing, I do it because most people coming in don't know me, don't know what we talk about, and this might be the first time they're seeing it. And that's why the bridge to me is important to repeat every single day. Know what your bankroll can do. Understand your relationship with risk. Can you identify when it's time to get off that damn table or punch them in the face? Do you have the discipline to pull it off? Did you set a goal and did you meet it? And are you willing to walk away when it's done? And do your emotions stay out of the way? Those are the tools you got. That's it. That's it. Everything else, they got. Literally, you might have a strategy you think is unbeatable, whatever. This is the real tools you have. Your tools are here for the most part. And if I don't remind you of that every day or tell somebody new every day that this is the way to fight it, they're going to think they're going to work some math problem out and figure out how to beat the casino. And it ain't going to happen. So again, to me, this is a passion project. And that's why I say it the way I say it. And I say it as often as I say it every single day. Okay. So let's jump into the news stuff a little bit here. There's a couple of, I'm starting to get this page fleshed out. We know that Joe from Craftsmaster Journey goes live every day, 6 a.m., does his dice practice. And again, I called him out on Monday, I think, or Tuesday, and Fran called him out last night. It's important to watch, even if you don't like. How do I say this right? I don't love watching people throw dice. Like, I can't watch most lives when guys are practicing. I can't do the crapsy thing when you're, playing, and I doesn't do it for me. Not that I don't like it. It just doesn't do it for me. But Joe's different. Joe's show is different. He's got the music going, of course. He's talking through it. He's having a good time. It's the same group of people all the time. It's actually a fun. I can put him on while I'm having my cereal and my coffee and just listen in the background. And he's actually super entertaining while he's learning how to throw the dice and teaching what he's doing. That's a great show. You should watch Show every day. And Fran last night did Casino Tears. I'm not sure what he calls it. I think it was 10 ton after 1 or something. I put Casino Tears after dark here. It's alternating Thursdays, 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern or Pacific time. So last night, it'll be now in 2 weeks, the next one. I'll start putting other folks up here as well as I lock in schedules with them. But yeah, for sure. Dursa says I could do the crapsy, and I will when I get back to doing my table. I got to show you my new table design. Oh, so good. Matter of fact, after this scene, I'll show it to you. Once my table's rebuilt, I will start throwing dice again every day. I'll reopen the show that was called Daily Paycheck. I'll do it with dice and roulette and other games, but I'll throw the dice. When I throw the dice, I'll run a live game so you can play along with. It won't be in crapsy, of course, but I'll run a live game with you so you can play along. And I think as a host, that's not too terrible to do. It's kind of fun. I can't watch it though. I can't, for some reason, watching that this doesn't. I just get so bored. I don't know why. I just do. I don't personally find it realistic enough. I guess I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a John thing. I just don't like it. But anyway, yeah, you can't can't pick issues though. That's funny. Okay, what's next? The buzz. There's not a lot of buzz going on today. However, I did. Oh, what's going on? Did it not show up? Hello, where is it? Oh, I went the wrong way. Dumb. Hold on, sorry. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Yesterday, by the way, I made mention we're talking about AI a little bit, and then I got this wild hair at my ass last night too. I decided for this, so I will show you at some point. I'll just make, and I hate to do it to you. I'll make a day where I demo the app that I'm building with Casino Quest, and I want you to see the strategy builder piece. The strategy builder piece I've done with AI. So basically, you say to it, "Hey, I'm going to build a strategy," and it says, "What do you want to build?" And you say, "I want to make craps," and it kind of interviews you, and it makes a strategy for you. Going back and forth with AI like that, and raise your hand in chat. Actually, tell me in chat, do you use AI? Do you use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever? Say yes, and then the name of the one that you use. I'd love to see what you guys are using out there. If you're using Gemini or Copilot or whatever it is, or something different. They're cool, but man, they are expensive. Like, I'm just testing out. I'm just monkeying around with whatever. It's rung up like $90 in charges in like 5 days. Just me playing back and forth, testing out the system. Right? It's so expensive. I can't make that part of the app because we can't afford to run it. Like, people wonder, why does Crapsy charge $5 a month when it's beta? Remember that whole argument we used to have, right? And I'm in the same boat now, right? I'm releasing an app that's going to have a craps piece and all this stuff. There's no way we could do it for $5 a month if 20, 30, $40, every other week is being racked up by a user trying the AI part of it. It just the costs are so out of control. So I'm deciding to build one. I'm going to build an actual AI, like an internal AI, and train it on gambling and on how we do things so that it can kind of help through, and maybe that will reduce the cost there. So man, it's insane. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the shooters tournament. I joined the group last night. I was so late to the party here. I've been so busy, and people who know me know that I owe them all phone calls, right? I don't talk to anybody anymore. I'm terrible. And I say it a lot too, because I feel like it's my job to reach out, and I haven't had time to because of work and everything else. But the shooters tournament, same thing. It kind of passed me right by. I will be a host this year again. I'm going to work with George on how to do that, get myself set up for it. And I'll put a link up here on this screen tomorrow, Monday, getting everybody the final signups and all that, and I'll post the schedules on this page as well. It'll be a separate page every day, so you know who's hosting who and what times and all that kind of stuff as best we can schedule it. It's kind of hard because you're dealing with a a lot of times not a YouTuber, and getting it all to work is hard. But I'll try and keep you open here. So I know that DGen won it last year. A couple years ago, Duracell was in it, and we got to actually meet him and his brother, and they shot the lights out. That was a fun couple of years watching this thing go. And this year, I think we're going to be a little bit better, even production wise. So looking forward to it, guys. Lou just said, text me a new acronym. Hold on. Can I read it in front of everybody? Is it safe for the world? Oh my God. You're awesome, Lou. Lou's acronym. So we end the show with Lou's focus. Here's his new one. Trend. Of course it's trend, right? Table energy, repeated box numbers, extended rolls, numbers getting pressed, and the dice still don't care. That's fantastic. This is why it pays to have friends. I love you, Lou. That's awesome. All right, here we go. Let's jump into my simple small topic for the day. And I want your thoughts in chat right now. What do you think about this? And here is the topic of the day: dice influence, fact or fiction. Now, I did how many shows? I did probably 15 or 20 about 4 years ago. Big deep dive into DI, fact or fiction. I did this whole series, and we looked at everything. We looked at the physics. We looked at the casinos, like part of this. If it wasn't real, why did the casinos do what they do? And there's so many layers to this question. Is it fact or is it fiction? And you have three choices, right? It's real, it's fake, or Jesus is stop talking about it already, right? I find it a fun topic to talk about because, like the math, and we're going to do one of these fact or fictions coming up, will be math, fact or fiction, because I think there's this nice, fun little holy war between the math guys and the non-math guys. And for the most part, the math guys are on the DI is fake side of things, realistically, right? The people who think it's fake are the people, and again, don't take this wrong if you're on this side and you're not what I'm describing. Most people who rely only on the math, specifically in craps. Let me qualify that, because games like blackjack, you have to follow the math. You can't do anything weird in blackjack. There's no way to do any better than 50-50, right? Ever. Or no bust will make it worse for you. Basic strategy makes it better for you. But in craps, it's a weird game. The rhythm of craps is weird. The way the bets pay is weird because they don't all pay 1-to-1. Blackjack pays 1-to-1, right? Roulette, you have some motion in there. With craps, it's a little bit different. So the math guys and the non-math guys have this kind of thing because you can control a table differently and go against the math and make more money than the math guys do. It's just the thing, right? Those guys always, though, fall on the DI's bullshit side. And I said this about a month ago. I feel like the guys on that side of the table have flipped the table and been like, fuck it, this doesn't work. You can't beat, they're like, and I've said this, you can't beat the casino, so why try? That's them. You can't beat it, so why try? Just play pass line max odds and don't try and control the dice. That's it's like, because you're going to lose anyway, bet the most boring thing you can possibly bet and keep the house edge low so you lose less money over time, and just huck and chuck and throw the dice because you can't control them anyway. They're just like completely giving up. That's how I look at it. I find that kind of sad. I really do. I find that sad. And if you know me, even if I'm not great at throwing, and I think I'm pretty damn good, by the way, I've gotten really good at throwing the dice. Even if you don't think it's possible, there's merits to it. Okay. And the merits of it are this. And I think that there's this great idea of personal rhythm and game rhythm. And people will talk about energy. Lou mentioned it in his trend acronym. Table energy and personal energy are real. They're real things, right? They don't change the outcome of the dice, but it does change how you experience the game, right? It does change the rolls per hour. It does change the let's get it going, right? If every bet's being paid in the same time frame and the dice come to you and you take, 4 seconds, not 12 to set them, you take your breath, you grab them and you throw them, you're in rhythm. And when you're in rhythm physically with the dice, you're in rhythm mentally with the game. And I think it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Guys trying to set the dice and make a toss, if it's purely random, like the math guys say, who the hell cares? Doesn't hurt you that they're doing that, right? If it helps them be centered, good. That's a good thing for the game, not a bad thing for the game. So I don't understand the negativity against it. So this is more of a rant about the negativity around the other side of it. I don't really see the need to A, belittle, or B, roll your eyes when somebody's doing it, because it doesn't hurt you that they're doing it. It helps them here or here, all good, right? That's all good to me. So, and I think Gargoyle always frames it really well, which is it's a mindfulness thing. So on that respect, the practice of DI is really, I think, a great thing for the game. I really do. The casinos, by the way, think it's real. Otherwise, there wouldn't be bouncy tables. There wouldn't be alligator walls. There wouldn't be rules that both dice have to hit the back wall, because people can manipulate them. People can slide them. People can do things, right? So there are countermeasures in place to stop it. So there's this little bit of a war between the casino and the person. But let me go to my table. I want to show you a little bit about why. And I want to get into not the physics of the dice so much, but a quick little dice lesson on why people try this and what they're really trying to pull off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to my table view and bring up my big dice, and we'll talk about it. Let me get rid of this. Put that over here, and I'll bring out the big fatties over here. So here's my dice. We'll put the sixes up top, the ones. Okay, there's my dice. Oh crap, you really can't see. I'll do it over here. The light is like right there. Well, that's terrible. We'll put them over here so you can see them, I guess, that way. So here's the deal. And if you don't know this, let's get started with the way the dice work. So every die is configured the exact same way. On one side, whatever number is here, the opposite side of that number makes 7. So there's a 6 here, 2 sides away from it is a 1. If there's a 3 here, 2 sides away from it is a 4. Always. The opposite side is always the 7. So no matter what dice you have, that is always how they're made. If they're not made that way, they're not real dice. They're not legit. Now, what we do know is this. I'll move one die out of the way. When one die is doing its thing and it pops down and it lands, in this case, on a 3, okay? This other one, 100% of the time, can create a 7 for you. You're always one die away. Once one of them stops going, this guy over here is still going. He's bouncing around or whatever. It can always come off that back wall and roll itself into a 4 and make you a 7 every single time. This is a possibility. Okay. The difference, though, with other numbers, if this die landed up on a 1, there's no way that I can roll a 9 here. There's no way that I can roll an 8. Right? This die, no matter what this die does, it'll never be a 9, it'll never be an 8, because there's not a match for it. There is this match, but there's no way to make a 9 or an 8 on this thing. I can't get there because there's not enough numbers on this other die. The 7's unique in that respect, that no matter what happens, you can always catch one. Okay? So part of the theory of dice control or dice influence is this. We want to minimize how much of this is happening, right? Because again, if you land up on a 1, right? My theory is this: the more that this thing rolls around, what I say is, how many times does the bad number show? When I say the word show, I mean when it's flipping and flopping around, how many times does the 6 come up? See how I'm rolling it and there's a 6 every so often, right? As they're coming off the wall, every so often that number has a chance to be the bad guy for you, right? When you're DIing it, you're trying to control the amount of energy. How many times these things come off the wall and roll around like crazy things, right? It doesn't mean you're going to block the 7, but it does mean that when this one here comes down on that 5, let's do it on the 1, it comes down on the 1, that this one, if it comes off the wall and it just rolls over one time, or it goes flip flop, and that's all that it does, like really low bounce rate, low flipping and flopping rate, it kind of hits and dies, you eliminate sides. You eliminate, if it only comes off the wall once off the here and it rolls like that, and that's all that it does. And you've seen guys that can do this, super low energy throws. They barely hit the wall. They barely roll over, right? And it comes off and it just does one or the other. That's it, right? You might be in a case where it goes 4-6 and you're toast, right? But if you can keep it down to where only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 sides ever show when it just does this off the wall and then it kind of lands on one, you eliminate 3 chances of the 7. Potentially, you're doing this and you're like flirting with it, and you have a 1 in 3 chance to get into 7, right? But that's the point, is we try and eliminate, take sides away, make it off the wall. It doesn't matter that much. Okay. And if you're dice setting and you have, let's say, a 2V going on your dice set, you're hoping that when it does come off the wall nice and quietly, right, that it's giving you numbers that will never be the bad one for you. That when this one comes off the wall and this one sticks and this one comes off and it rolls straight like this, that you're in better shape, right? You get rid of the sides maybe, or it goes over and over and you're okay still. That's the point of it. If this thing is doing like this, everything is flying around, you have all the dice, all the sides are in play. DIs are trying to remove sides from being in play on one or both dice if they can. That's the whole point of it. The second point of it, obviously, is going to be that starting point, right? So when you're starting your dice out, right? And here again, we'll do a little 2V set, right? You start your dice here, you spin one away, and now you've eliminated some of the 7s, right? When you take the dice here, right? I know that I can spin and of course get my 5, right? Which is going to hurt me. But if I just do this little thing right here, I remove the 6-1. If the dice goes sideways, there's no 6-1s. I can only get 6s, right? Because I put the 1 over here. I hit it, right? Again, there's a little bit of trickery involved, right? A little bit of thinking involved in how this all works. But ultimately, it's all about energy. It's all about the energy. The idea of throwing the dice, these are huge dice, by the way. I can't pick them up. Throwing them like this, where they spin in this direction, or like I do, where you stack them and they spin in this direction. The whole point is to maybe pin one of the faces on the table, which is what I'm trying to do, and have the other guy never have the partner. I never want to see the partner when this thing spins. If it spins the way I want it to, it'll be a 3, it'll be a 4, and that's all it's ever going to be. That's the idea. There's physics behind what we're trying to do. But ultimately, let me go back to, I got to change this like this. Go there. Here. I guess that was here, right? So that's the point of it, right? The point of it is not to get certain numbers. The point of it is to reduce the energy so the dice don't spin as much. So you take some faces out of the equation as they're coming to rest and maybe eliminate some possibilities of that 7 coming. That's the whole point of it, right? When I said yesterday, good DIs can quote unquote create a trend or create a pocket or see patterns in what they're throwing or create a tendency to throw certain numbers. That's the reason why, because they've gotten so good at low energy tossing that they know when the one die lands, the other die is going to do a certain thing and eliminate 2, 3, or 4 possibilities because it's not really showing those numbers on top. That's the point of it. That's what these guys practice for. That's what I'm trying to do. And you know what? If it doesn't work, so freaking what? I didn't get closer to a 7 because it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I'm just random like everybody else, right? If it doesn't work or I screw up my throw, all I've done is become no better or no worse than that guy. This guy here that's just hucking and chucking and my bad throw are the exact same. So I don't hurt you by doing what I'm trying, right? I may actually help you. If nothing else, I'm keeping rhythm. So that's my fact or fiction on dice influence. There's a lot more to this topic, obviously, right? And I'd love to know what you guys think, right? Dr. S, random's fine with me. The guys that play ladder systems or guys that play that don't do not care, right? We'll quote Mike McDonald from the Seahawks. We did not care. You do not care what happens because you're not playing for that. The guys who are DIing are playing for long rolls. They're trying to get long rolls or big clusters of certain numbers. I would rather throw 8 times and have 5 of them be 5s. Give me that all day long, right? Let me set a point of 6, throw 5 5s and a 7. Sayonara, suckers. I'm out of here. That's a great night for me. I would love that. I would go right home. That's all that we're looking for. It's not so much about, whatever, climbing off the back of the 7. So, alrighty. So let's close her up. Close up shop here. I'm going to run through questions really quick and see if there's anything in chat that I need to address before I go to work today. I don't think I see any cues for questions. There's a couple in here. Remember, if you want to get my attention, put a Q in front of it. I have a filter on my chat thing that I can see those better and just find them. So yeah, we got Lou's new acronym. Kevin Farm says DI is real. Shooters can control the dice. I don't think anybody can control the dice. I think you can control the energy of the dice. You can control how hard they hit. You can control what you started with on the set, how hard they hit, and after that, it's in God's hands. But if you set them up for success, you may have success. If you set them up for failure, you're lucky to get success. And that's kind of a way to frame that, I think, too, right? Let's see. Marble Fork Band. I believe DI is possible, but few have the time or brains required to master it. You're right about that. It also takes a craps table. You got to invest $3,000 in a craps table, have a room in your house that your wife is okay with you having a craps table in. Like, you can't just do this on your couch. Like you can't set them and throw them from your kitchen table to your couch and get anywhere with that. Really, you got to set up for it. And it takes a lot to set up for it. He said it's similar to a magician who practices one move 1,000 times. You look at some of these guys, like the card magic guys, how good they are with their hands. It's the same thing. Anything you do 1,000,000 times, you're going to get good at it, right? The question is whether it matters or not. And that can be debated, I suppose, ad nauseum, but sure as hell can't hurt to try, right? All right, some of the AI questions we have. Victor uses Agentic, Dr. S uses Grok, Dynamite Shooter uses Google AI, using Gemini for sports betting. Interesting. Cool. Who else? Anybody else using it? I'm looking at Casinos Run a Random Game. Math guys arguing on the theory of probability, not a law. The law of math is the law of math, right? You can't change it, but variance is real. You're not there long enough, even on a full weekend, to experience it, to experience the law of large numbers. You have to just rock what you're seeing in front of you, man. You gotta hit it while it's getting hit. That's the whole thing. Call it trend betting if you want to, but that's what it's all about. You gotta hit it when you're there. You gotta have ways of betting that catch what's happening. You can't have a way of betting that guesses what's gonna happen. And there's the difference. If I had to sum up my entire 5 years of YouTube, that sentence captures it. That's it. Bet in a way that captures what's happening without thinking about it. You're not trying to catch what you think is going to happen. You do that, you're a loser. You're going to get destroyed. But if you can bet and win with whatever's happening, you've got it figured out. At least to the point where you're going to lose only the house edge and get lucky sometimes and win more. That's what it's all about, guys. All right. I think that's everything, right? Do I say, let's see. I don't see any more questions out there. Unless I'm missing them. No, not missing them. All right. You guys have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Nothing really happening in sports this weekend, right? We're no more Super Bowl. There's no more Olympics. There's nothing good's happening except for basketball. I'm not a big basketball fan. So Monday morning we can go back and talk about gambling. All right. How about that? Have a great weekend. Love y'all. God bless. I'll leave you with the last time we'll talk about this quote of the week here, which is stay in focus. That's from Lou. Follow your plan, observe the conditions, control your emotions, understand the game and the odds, and stay disciplined. And finally, your inspirational quote of the week, which is kind of what I just said, right? An idiot admires complexity. A genius admires simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid. The easier it is, it's probably the way, right? That's just the way that it works. The more you complicate things, the worse your life is going to be. The more chance for mistake. Have a good weekend. Love y'all. God bless. See you Monday.